What's going on, guys? Steven from Pure Landscaping. So today we're going to do a quick video on an oil change with the Scag Freedom Z. It has a Kohler engine, 24 horsepower, and it's a 2015 model. So we'll do a quick oil change. I'll have some footage on this camera and also the GoPro, and let's see what we could do. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so here we have it, the Kohler 24 horsepower 7000 series engine. This is what we're going to be doing some maintenance on, an oil change. Typically you'd like to do this on a hard surface. I'm going to do it on the grass just because I have great lighting. So we'll take care of that now. So I'm going to do an air cleaner, air filter, and oil change. Also we're going to change the oil filter. We have our engine warming up now. We'll let it run for a few minutes and then we will start the oil change. Make sure you gather up all your products that you need, the oil, air filter, and tools before you start the job. Alright, so we're now all warmed up. I'm just setting up the GoPro here. So we're going to walk around. You see the fuel filter is located right there on the right armrest. You see the starter over here. So we're going to walk around. I flipped up the seat for better access. Oil filter. We'll look for a drain directly behind the oil filter down here, right there in the center of the screen. We have the drain plug for the oil, and when you turn that, it opens a little valve and it drains out through the bottom. So let's set our oil pan up. Now that the engine is warmed up and the oil is warm, we are going to take a 10mm wrench and we are going to loosen the ball valve to release the oil, which drains under the actual mower at the bottom of the engine. This is a valve controlled right here, right next to the oil filter. Let's see if we can get this off easy. Oil starting to flow. I will open the dipstick so the oil comes out easier. You definitely need a 10mm wrench for this. You cannot do it by hand. I'll keep going. It's not draining fast. It's actually a pretty slow stream. Getting a little faster as I'm unloosening the bolt for the ball valve. It is now flowing pretty good. Checking on our oil. It is draining slowly. It's very bright out here so I can't really see. It looks like it's focusing. So it's draining slowly, but it's draining. It's almost done. We will be done draining the oil soon. While the oil is draining, we will take the cover off for the air filter. By these two tabs, you pull them out, you pull the whole cover up in the air, and that exposes the air filter. The air filter comes straight up and off. Make sure you clean off around here all that dirt. Make sure it doesn't fall in here into the carburetor, but this thing's pretty nasty. Good thing I bought another one. To install the new air filter, all you have to do is grab it, put this end down right over here, push it down, and you'll feel it kind of lock in securely, and that's how you install that. So here I have the cover. There's the air filter. Put the cover straight down on it, fold these tabs in, and now you're complete with the air filter setup. So this next step, we're going to remove the oil filter. I've never removed this yet, and I know sometimes they come on really tight from the factory. So let's give it a shot and see how tough we are. It's tight. There we go. It's loose. And this is going to get a little messy. Actually, it's not too bad. It all drains right down that hole, right into my catch. Here's the old filter. I have some rags, so I'll clean up around the oil filter. Try to keep a clean work area. You don't want to contaminate anything with oil, or not oil. We don't want to contaminate anything with sand and dirt. Just get a shop rag, start wiping it. I'm gonna wipe around the part that the oil filter attaches to. Make sure that's cleaned off very nicely, which it is. I have my replacement oil filter. It's a different brand, but it's the right part number. Make sure that the O-ring is not still on that part of the engine. Make sure that it came off with the old filter. Now, they say to lubricate this gasket with some clean engine oil. So we're going to do that now. Dip your finger in some oil and just give it a light coating around there. Some people say it helps, some people say it doesn't, but I've always done it like this. And come down here and carefully, without stripping the threads, line up the oil filter, spin it on, and make sure it's tight and it's not going to vibrate off. You don't need to tighten it so much that you can't get it off or that you damage something, but make sure you tighten it. So I'm just going to get some strength in here, and that's as tight as I really want to go. Now for the next step. Now that the oil is done draining, we're going to take the valve that we opened, which is right here, to let the oil out of the engine. We are going to tighten it to close the valve because we don't want to put new oil in without closing that. So put a wrench on here, a 10mm, and keep tightening it. Make sure it's tight. So now the oil filter is tight and the drain valve is tight. We are now going to add the oil. So according to Kohler's website, because this is a Kohler engine, I'm going to go from Kohler's website, it's saying it uses 1.9 quarts of oil. So I'm going to take their word for it because it's their engines. They should know what they're talking about. I'm using a large funnel and we'll fill it up. Nice clean oil. This is a 10W30. This is just a brand that my dealer had, so I'm using that. NOCO 10W30. So there's 1 quart. I'm going to let that slowly drain and then we'll put another one in. So this first one is just about done draining in. It's pretty much empty, so I'll put the top on it. I'll grab the second quart, and just to be safe, I'm going to not put all of it in. It says 1.9 quarts capacity. I'm going to put in a little bit under 2 quarts and then check it. Alright, so that's a little bit, that's like 1 3/4 of a quart. So I'm going to take the funnel out. Make sure you don't drip oil everywhere. And I'm going to put the dipstick in. And we're just going to check it and see where our level is at this moment. Actually, we're right on the money right now. We're right at just at the full line. So I'm gonna go with that. So there we go. I don't know if you guys can see, but I put in 1 quart, and then we have this much left over in this one that's extra oil. So I'm now going to start the engine and let the oil flow through the oil filter, because the oil filter is actually empty right now, and we'll cycle the oil through the passages and we'll check it one more time. Alright, so that should have been long enough to get the oil to cycle through the engine. We will check the dipstick. I'm going to take it out and wipe it because the oil was just flowing around. Put it back in, pull it out, and we're right in between the full and low line. Exactly on the money. I'm going to leave it like that and call this oil change complete. I did check to make sure it wasn't leaking. The oil filter's on tight. The drain plug is not leaking. The valve is closed tight. So I'm going to think that this oil change is a success. Alright, so that concludes our oil change on the Scag Freedom Z, or the Kohler 7000 series 24 horsepower engine, however you want to think of it. My GoPro setup. So I'm just going to clean up. I didn't have enough time to do the fuel filter today. I'll make a separate video for you guys some other time, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.